Matigela, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today, I want us to talk about the so-called two phone calls that happened between Kelly Khumalo and accused number 5. Let's deal with that theory that collapses in law. Because when you look at the law, two phone calls, no conspiracy. How the state's theory collapses in law, Senzo trial. That is what we are going to talk about. They want you to believe that two phone calls months apart are proof of a murder conspiracy. No recording, no message, no instruction, no money trail, no follow-ups, just two phone calls. Seriously? So today we expose why in South African law the evidence doesn't just fail. It never even reaches the legal threshold of conspiracy. Because conspiracy is not gossip, it is not suspicion, it is not narrative. Conspiracy is one of the most demanding crimes to prove in law, and the state knows this. Okay, now let's look at what conspiracy actually requires in law. Let's get this straight. To prove conspiracy to murder, the state must prove all of the following. 1, an agreement between 2 or more people. 2, a shared intention to commit the crime. 3, knowledge of the unlawful purpose. 4, conduct showing execution or advancement of the plan. Not 1, not 2, all 4. No shortcuts, no vibes. No, it looks bad. No, it looks bad. What the state actually has, what does the state present? 2 phone calls between Kelly Khumalo and Fiso Kuhle. Mayimelake. 2 phone calls between Kelly Khumalo and Fiso Kuhle. One on the 15th October 2014. One on the 2nd of August 2014. One on 15 October 2014. Murder happens 26 October 2014. That's it. No content, no duration significance, no escalation, no clustering, no proximity to crime, just 2 dots, and the state says connect them. Now, before we get into the other details, now, while we have that, then Pinky Ventaligam comes from Vodacom. Forensic supervisor from Vodacom comes and says, I don't find those 2 calls between Kelly Khumalo and Fiso Kuhle Ntuli. I see on your side, my section 205, the PDF document that we have at Vodacom, there is no calls like that. Instead, yes, on those dates and that time, on the 2nd of August, Kelly Khumalo was speaking to Arthur Mofokate. That call was between, Kelly Khumalo does have a call there. She was speaking to Arthur Mofokate. The one on the 15th October, Kelly Khumalo was speaking to Senzo Meyo. So I don't see where, on our side as Vodacom, where he spoke to Fiso Kuhle. In fact, she further said, there is no way in the numbers of Kelly Khumalo we have on our side and of Fiso Kuhle where they spoke together. Do you see now what this means? Okay. Now, why this fails conspiracy jurisprudence completely? 1, failure is equal to, failure number 1 is equal to no agreement. No agreement. A phone call is not an agreement. A constitutional court and SCA are clear. The constitutional court and the SCA are clear. An agreement must be proved, not inferred from neutral conduct. The state cannot tell us what was said, who proposed what, who accepted what, when consensus was reached. Without proof of agreement, conspiracy is dead on arrival. Failure number 2, no intention proved. Intent is not assumed. The state must prove that both parties knew a murder was planned, intended that murder to happen. 2 calls months apart do not prove intent. If this were a real hit, where are the repeated calls? Where is urgency? Where is coordination? Where is proximity? This looks like ordinary communication, not criminal planning. So we are coming to this, what they planned, the so-called calls that the SEPS says it's there. whereas Vodacom says it's not there. So this analysis comes from that. Even though they did their own thing and said they were cause, this comes in because it's not proving anything. Failure number 3, time gap destroys the theory. Let's talk timing. 2nd August, almost 3 months before the murder. 15 October, 11 days before the murder. In conspiracy, jurisprudence, planning intensifies and execution as execution approaches. Here, no spike, no pattern, no acceleration. This is anti-conspiracy timing. Failure number 4, no overt act linked to the cause. Even where agreement is aligned, courts look for acts advancing the plan, steps flowing from the agreement. The state cannot point to a single act that flowed from either call. No weapon acquisition, no payments, no movement, no logistic, nothing. Lutho nje. Confessions can't save this. The state leans on the confession statement of Ntanzi and Sibiya, but here is the law. One confession cannot corroborate another confession. And worse, these confessions are disputed, allegedly obtained under assault, recanted, contradict each other, contradicted by objective evidence. So the phone calls don't corroborate the confessions. The confessions are being used to prop up meaningless phone data. And that is backward prosecution. And what the law actually says, South African courts have repeatedly held neutral facts cannot be transformed into criminal evidence by speculation. A call log proves connection, not conspiracy. Without content plus context and corroboration, the inference of conspiracy is not the only reasonable inference, okay? And when that's the case, the accused must be acquitted. Also, the strategic truth the state hopes we are going to miss. If these phone calls truly proved a murder plot, the state wouldn't need confessions taken years later. The case wouldn't rely on contaminated evidence. The narrative wouldn't keep shifting. This evidence is being sold loudly because it is legally empty. Noise replaces substance. So do you see how bad things are for the state case? It's bad. It's very bad. It is very, very bad. And when the court decides on this, it's going to be hectic for the court also to take this decision, I suppose. So 2 phone calls do not equal conspiracy, not in law, not in logic, not in justice. And when courts strip away the drama, what remains is this: a prosecution built on inference, not proof. And the inference has never been enough to take away a person's freedom. Never. So, Ukininda cannot come here to tell us, Kuti, I've done a great job, blah, blah, blah. Say, you messed up by going to Kalakabusha, and then when you find out that Buthelezi was in prison at that time, and then you did a substitution, that is where it became blow by blow for you. This is supposedly to be the most successful case, the biggest case that he solved, but guess what? It's very questionable. It's making a noise from left from right, center, left, middle center, middle right, middle left, upper center, upper right, upper. It's making a noise for Ukininda, and I'm sure Akalali. I am sure Akalali, it's bird. It's bad. Things are very bad because wow. He can't survive this. I don't see him surviving this, but time will tell. And I believe in a God that will come true and solve this matter for our country. Because what is this, Nasan? Indolendo Square is South Africa. There is no way, absolutely no way that this is going to be allowed to. It's not good for our country, not at all. Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts when it comes to this? Let's talk in the comment section. I want to hear your views. Thank you so much. I will see you on our next video. Bye-bye.